Welcome back, everybody, to the Omniverse Comics Guide podcast. I'm your host, Eric Anthony. That's my good pal, Dave.
All right.
How the hell are
I am
you?
Elephant. Yeah.
Always a pleasure to hang out here. Everybody that's with us on Twitch, thanks for joining us, the loyal supporters. We appreciate it. Everybody who watches us on YouTube, thank you for tuning in again. Give us that thumbs up, the notification button, and the subscribe. If something you like about the show, let us know. Something we could do better, let us know as well. We just want to be better for you. And of course, please visit us at omniversecomics.guide. That's where you could get all our reading orders, our previous episodes, collector item specials. What else we got there? Creator
Oh, all
interviews, other
sorts of crazy
podcasts, top
shiz.
tens,
We've got
all sorts
manga
of stuff.
focused
Yeah,
stuff as well. There was a recent update
that's right.
from
I
some
forget to
manga
mention that.
recommendations. We've got some background reading for if you want to know where to start before you get to the big crossover events. We've got the big crossover events. We've got character stuff where you want to pick a team, you want to pick
Everything.
and if you don't see what you're looking for, let us know. Whether it's on here or
There you
on the
go.
website itself, you can always leave a comment.
And join us on the Discord. Please feel free to join us on the
Yes.
Discord.
Good
Chime
shout.
in the conversation and let us know what kind of episodes you want to hear because it helps us. We come up with this stuff, but at the same time, it always helps us to see what the viewers and the listeners want to
We like a
hear
challenge.
us talk about. We do. We do. Was today's topic a challenge?
No, yes and no. It's same as it is for any other thing, really. You know, sometimes you think like, I just want to throw something in that's random. So you try something and you go,
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
God, what? I can't use that. And then you try another one. You go, no, this is something, and that can happen with any character basically. But yeah, so it's not necessarily different from anyone else. But sure, there's always a challenging element, right? Element.
Right. Right. And I always try to, I don't always say this, but I want to preface this episode saying when we recommend stuff on the show, you can at least trust that we've read it. We
Yeah.
don't just say stuff to say stuff, or if we haven't read something that's like a must read, I can't recommend it. But in our case, we always try to say, we always do, we always read these books that we recommend. So when we vouch for it, we stand by
And
it.
we recommend what we like, not
That's
just
right.
the thing you're
That's right.
supposed to say.
Exactly. Exactly. But we try, you know what? Let's get into our list. We'll give an example of how we do these lists, Dave.
All right.
Is it my turn or your
It's
turn
definitely
first?
your turn.
As always, I try to not to make them quite as obvious as we've mentioned.
Hmm.
Try to pick books from different eras, different versions. So I said so easy to pick Lex Luthor because people who've watched the show know that I just Superman all the time.
Really? You never mention it.
I know, but deep down inside, I'm a big Superman fan. So I tried to choose some Superman stories. Clearly, you have to. But my first pick, it's Villains United. You can find it in the complete collection, Volume 1 of the Secret
Ah.
Six. It's also in the Infinite Crisis Omnibus,
Mm.
and it's also in the Secret Six Omnibus, Volume 1. It kicks off the Gail Simone era of writing the Secret Six, which is kind of like not an offshoot, but the same sort of feel you get from the Suicide Squad, but more mercenary, more underground. There isn't an Amanda Waller involved,
Right.
but you got Deadshot on this team. You've got
Catman.
Catman, who, previously was a joke, but is one of the key characters in this book that is pretty intense, and you start to really like this guy. Like, this guy's badass. I
Mm-hmm.
thought Catman was just a fat slob. No, Catman's cool. Ragdoll, who's
Yeah.
freakishly terrifying, but really interesting. A parademon is on the team in
Oh
this book.
yeah.
Cheshire, as well as Scandal Savage. I think that's six of them.
Yeah.
Quite an interesting team. It's a really cool series because there are all these offbeat characters, C-list, D-list characters that you kind of see peripherally. You got all of these villains who are trying to form this super cabal to prepare for whatever they know is coming because there's this moment happening that we know as readers is leading up to Infinite Crisis, but the Justice League is in disarray at this time. The Injustice Gang is trying to, have that coup d'etat, if you will, that final blow to take over everything. And these six have refused their invitation to join, and they're thwarting the Injustice Gang's plans, which Lex Luthor is the lead of this Injustice Gang. Not to spoil anything, but the Secret Six have been brought together by something like a Charlie's Angel sort of figure. this person behind a computer screen that they don't know who it is pulling the strings. It's this Charlie's Angel type of character. They don't know who it is. That's part of the mystery of this story. Everybody's trying to figure out who is behind this group of the Secretses, who's funding them. So I highly recommend this Lex Luthor story.
So the villains are called the Society, based on the secret society of supervillains from the 70s, I think.
Okay,
The main,
that's
yeah, the enemies of the
yeah,
Secret Six. There's so many variations
yes,
of those
thank you.
villains because, like, that's why sometimes I go, was that the Society? Was that the Injustice Gang? Was that the like, the Crime
Because
Syndicate?
I
Like
had read a
what?
couple stories where those names are referenced, and I'm like, okay, this is a Legion of Doom story. This is Injustice
Yeah,
Gang.
Legion of
Don't
Doom. That was it.
confuse.
Yeah,
So I confused. So it's the Society.
it's the
Lex
Society.
Luthor is the head of the Society.
Yeah. Okay. My first choice tonight is Bronze Age. Oh, shock horror. I've gone for a Bronze Age. Yeah, I like that weird shit. So this is DC Comics Presents Annual Number 1. It's written by Marv Wolfman. The art's by Rich Buckler. This looks like what you'd expect an early 80s comic to look like, to read like. There's something really kind of cheesily classic about it. It's not something that's going to make you walk away and go, wow, that just blew my mind. It'll make you go, yeah, that feels like that era. And there's something just kind of nice to dip into that time. It's like a reassuring kind of read. But this one is interesting from a Lex Luthor perspective because not only does it feature Lex Luthor of Earth 1, which was the mainstream continuity for DC before Crisis on Infinite Earths shook everything up and made one timeline. It also features the original Lex Luthor, Alexei Luthor, from Earth 2, the Golden Age. But why stop at 2 Lex Luthors when you can introduce a third Lex Luthor into this? So, yeah, this features 3 Lex Luthors: Lex Luthor, Alexei Luthor, and Alexander Luthor. Now, this might sound excessive. It might sound familiar. If you know your DC stuff, that version of the name might sound familiar. He may be quite an important dad. I'll say that much. But yeah, so you'll get 3 Lex Luthors. So of course you're going to have to get 3 Supermen. So you got your Golden Age
Hmm.
Superman. You've got your Bronze Age Superman. Your Earth 1, Earth 2, that is. And then Earth 3 Superman. What's he called? What was the villain in the Superman film that came out this year? Anyway, not going to spoil it. Kind of have. But Lex Luthor of Earth 2, who is the first Lex Luthor, technically, because Earth 2, even though it was first, was considered Earth 2, so you went for Earth 1 comics, but hence Crisis on Infinite Earth. He's very different. He looks different. He's got hair. I think he was originally just called Luthor for quite some time, and then eventually he was Alexei Luthor. But true to form, it seems he just wants to blow up the planet. Yay, motivation. So this is proper cheeseball, end of the Bronze Age, 1980s. It's very weird. Like I say, don't walk away expecting greatness, but it will introduce you to at least 2 versions of Lex Luthor you may not have read before.
My number 2
Mm.
is post-crisis Lex Luthor. I wanted to kick off my picks with this one, but this is I feel a really good. It's a short story. It's found in Superman number 9, drawn by John Byrne, backup story. It's
Mm.
the cover with the Joker on it. But this is Lex Luthor 900 miles away from Metropolis. That's what it's, I think that's what it's called. And it's him at a diner, just like a regular guy at a diner. But he hits on her waitress and basically gives her the indecent proposal, an offer of a lifetime, just to just to see how he can manipulate people.
Mm.
And it's one of those short stories that I don't want to say any more about it, but it's done so well and it really gives you a snapshot of what that Lex Luthor was like. Just somebody who liked to flex his muscle to remind himself, to remind the world, I can do that
Yeah.
because I want to. It's one of those kind of quiet issues in the sense of no action, no super heroics. It's just a character study. And it's definitely one worth checking out. Take it away, Dave.
Okay, my number two. I'm going to stay in the bronze. I'm just going to
Ooh.
move forward a
Oh,
year. Now, I'm picking this one because
there's
this
five
is,
Superman.
yeah, there's 16 Superman, 51 Lex Luthors, just 52.
52.
52 Lex Luthors.
Nice.
This one is of significance. So, this is from 1983. It's kind of a little bit of a crossover thing. It's Action Comics 544 to Superman 385 to 386. It's written by Kerry Bates, art's by Kurt Swan, so it's very kind of classic looking. And it includes a design by George Perez. So this is the storyline that introduces Lex Luthor's war suit. After yet another defeat at the hands of Superman, it literally opens with him being defeated by Superman. Lex goes, "Do you know what? I've had enough, mate." So he goes back to planet Lexor to his wife, and then he just hangs out there for a bit because he's sick of Superman. So Lex Luthor had a planet that adopted him, and he was a hero there in the Bronze Age. Earth One, Lex Luthor's isn't some imaginary story. This is literally part of his history. But it's so surreal because this is the first time I ever found anything out about this, and I was reading this thing going, I want to know where the war suit came from. So I thought I'll read the story. What is going on? He's got his own planet. So yeah, he's basically in charge. They go like, "Oh, welcome back. It's been a while since we've seen you. Here's your son." What? And then next thing you know, this masked marauder, I think it is, basically starts attacking Lexor. So he's then trying to kind of prove himself the hero, and it attracts the attention of Superman. And then through this bizarre set of circumstances, yes, more bizarre than the stuff I've just mentioned, Lex Luthor dons his war suit for the first time, and this is how the war suit comes about. So he actually fights Superman kind of one-on-one on par because he's got the means to do it.
He had his own planet. That's where it came from?
Yeah, well,
I had no idea.
weird, right? But this is the thing. This Lex Luthor of the Bronze Age, he kind of started, he probably first appeared like 1955-ish. Lex Luthor of Earth 1 actually appeared in Adventure Comics number 271 in 1960. He's been around ages, and they've done loads of weird stuff in that time. So they would have introduced all these concepts, and it was still part of continuity. So by the time you get to 1983, Lex Luthor has a planet named after him where he's the hero.
So weird.
So weird. But
Yeah.
this armor, so yeah, like I say, designed by George Perez, it becomes part of the reason why this exists, because it also aligns with a storyline with Brainiac, where he gets redesigned and has that robotic form with the brain. So this is all the stuff that fed into the cosmic the superpowers toys. Because before that, it was that thing with the capsules down it. I don't know if they actually were, but that was kind of his costume.
Wow. I just learned something today. Thank you very much.
That's all right. And if you want to know what order to read it in, oh, guess what, me governor? There's a reading order for this. It's called Showdown. If you want a little bit of old school DC and some weird, weird stuff, it is a bizarre era. But that's part of why I love it, because it's like anything goes.
Okay, my number 3 before the ad break is going to be another Lex Luthor being part of a group of villains. And I think this time it's the Legion of Doom. No, it's the Injustice Gang. You might want to fact check me. You might want to fact check me so I don't. Grant Morrison, Howard Porter, JLA, Rock of Ages. This is a cool story because it's a really cool celebration of the DC universe. Grant Morrison has a way of finding some sort of avenue to blend different timelines, different universes. So this MacGuffin, if you will, gives you sort of like absolute control, absolute power, which of course is what Lex Luthor wants. So he's put together his own Injustice Gang. But somewhere in the storyline, the Justice League gets separated through different timelines. And a bunch of different things are happening to the team that is like splitting them apart. Diversions here and there so that Lex Luthor wins the day. But this story takes them into a future where the Justice League thinks that they had won and cause a certain dystopian future to occur, which takes us to Darkseid showing up and the New Gods. And these members of the Justice League within this era, Kyle Rayner, Aquaman, and the Flash, find themselves in a future, and they have to simultaneously figure out a way to stop what's happening in the present with what's happening in the future. It's a trippy story. Lex Luthor is at the crux of it in the beginning and at the end. And again, it's one of those moments where when you see him in this sort of team dynamic, if you will, or working with other villains, you kind of see his different motivations, what he's willing to do
Mm.
in his cruelty,
Yeah.
and where he doesn't cross certain lines. And this is during the Electric Blue Superman era. So Superman
Yes.
does some really cool stuff in this one where it's they put this Justice League together to get like the pantheon of the seven that everyone recognizes. 9 issues in, you got Electric Blue Superman. How are you gonna make him interesting and cool?
Yeah.
Grant Morrison found a way to do it. Grant Morrison found a cool way to use Superman. So if you haven't read this one, another really cool DC Universe centric story that does some really fun, timey-wimey, multiversal stuff. But I mean, Grant Morrison, what would you expect? Anything less?
Right. Let's take a dive back to see what the most popular character reading orders are. Number 5, it's Hellboy Universe 1994 to present. So that's the mainstream version of Hellboy, but we do have 2 preceding reading orders if you want to check those out too. At number 4, Hulk 1987 to 1992. Number 3, Marvel vs. DC 1976 to present. Obviously, that's going to have to be updated soon. Number 2, Invincible Universe, Old Faithful. And at number 1,
Reigning Supreme.
Reigning Supreme, yes. It is Ultimate Spider-Man 2000 to 2018
Because it's
reading
great.
order. What a fantastic era of Spider-Man that is.
All right, Dave. Numero tre for you.
Numero tre. Following on from your recommendation of Rock of Ages, I've kind of got a bit of a sequel of sorts to that story arc. And
Nice.
it's JLA
Nice.
36 to 40. It's from 2000-ish. It's by Grant Morrison, because, sequel. And Howard Porter is creative team.
Beautiful.
And it's World War III. This is the final storyline for JLA for Grant Morrison before it gets handed over to other creators to take on the series. Yeah, JLA 36 to 40. Metron takes Big Barda, hello, and Wonder Woman to Wonderworld to find the greatest super champions all dead, having been slaughtered by the anti-sun. Mr. Miracle confirms to the JLA that Mageddon, the Doomsday Machine, the Warbringer, is free. Superman orders Oracle to summon every Leaguer past and present. The new Injustice Gang, Lex Luthor, Prometheus, Queen Bee, random choice, and the General enter the JLA's watchtower through the Ghost Zone and blow it up. This brings all sorts of threads back to the end, from the beginning of the run to the end for a big payoff, because that's how Morrison likes to do it. And sometimes he ends on a really weird note when he does a run on a series. He'll go super mainstream, super, look at this, big ideas, but still kind of mainstream. Final arc, let's go crazy Broadway style. But on acid and various other drugs that I probably can't talk about without getting blocked on YouTube. It's not as weird as it could be for Morrison, but it is bombastically in-your-facedly blockbuster-ish. But I think the thing with this is, while it's still a great manipulative Lex Luthor, we're talking big league, Lex Luthor taking on the JLA with a much smaller team, knowing that he doesn't need the big-name bad guys. He just needs the people he can use. This is his big play, his big final play against the JLA. And Morrison and Porter on story and art, how can you go wrong? You can tell from what we're talking about tonight as well. With Rock of Ages and this, it's worth reading JLA by Grant Morrison from start to finish. And it doesn't really dive out too much. I know there's the DC 1 million event, but you can pretty much just read the whole thing without interruption. And get some great Lex Luthor moments too.
Yeah, no, it's a great run. And this was running simultaneously while Avengers from Busiek and Perez were on the other side of the street in Marvel. So what a great time for team books. They were so good. Both flagship kind of superhero teams, right?
This is why I think there was so much of a push for JLA Avengers as an event.
Okay. My number 4. I've mentioned this series a couple of times in the past to be like a DC omnibus. Why don't they make this yet? Why don't they make this yet? So they finally made it. There it is, right there.
Oh, look at that.
See that guy? That guy right there.
There he is.
He's in this book quite a bit. I've actually finished this omnibus since it came out this month. I've recently finished it. My pick isn't the omnibus. It's a story within the omnibus, just so we're clear. I don't want to write the whole thing. But
why not?
this takes place during the Rebirth era where the New 52 Superman is no longer present.
Yeah.
And then there's this Superman that crosses over from the convergence moment from a multiverse. Him and Lois are saved from the Superman, my Superman from the pre-New 52,
Yes.
right? The married version that we all kind of became fond of and felt like they were family. This is where Jonathan Kent shows up
The son, like
and
Superman's son.
the son,
Mm.
Superman's son. And then the story unfolds with Lex Luthor exiting the Justice League saying, I'm going to be the Superman for Metropolis since we've lost the Superman we all know. Somebody needs to be the protector. And this symbol is hope. And it should actually be a man, a human. That's the Superman that represents the city. And it's going to be me. And he's a key figure throughout the story. But the one that I'm going to pick is called Men of Steel. Action Comics 967
Mm.
to 972. In this story, Lex Luthor finds himself being arrested basically for a pre-crime. A race of aliens come and say he's guilty because
Oh
he's the heir
yeah.
to he's the heir to Darkseid and we have to stop him now. Basically kill Hitler as a baby, stop Apocalypse when he's young, all that kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
But in this case this Superman person that you think you're kind of figuring him out. He's got to be executed for his crimes. And Superman has to essentially decide if he's going to save Lex Luthor. So it's a great character study of Superman, and it's also a really cool character study of this Lex Luthor, who is being told his future as ruler supreme. And he's basically saying, hey, I'm not that guy. You got the wrong dude. So it's a different take
Like
on
Jeff
Lex Luthor,
Lebowski.
but yeah, it's a different take on Lex Luthor, but at the same time, still very true to the character. And seeing him and Superman figure each other out because what they always lack is trust.
Mm.
But in this case, Lex doesn't trust him because he's some sort of interloper. The Superman I knew died. Who the hell are you?
Right.
You're here again to fool us.
Uh-huh.
And Superman, of course, is saying the Lex I know from before this new 52 garbage, you can't trust that guy. He was like one of the worst people on the planet.
Yeah, he was a very
So what
different
do you
Lex
think I'm going to
Luthor,
think of
the
you?
new 52 version.
Right.
Mm.
Still a villain, but
Mm.
had a lot of range as far as motivations and this character's development, evolution, and different scenarios you see him in. Like he's literally trying to be Superman, the same way the Reign of Superman guys were claiming
Yeah,
the sigil,
yeah.
right? Give it a shot. Dan Jurgens, man. I love Dan Jurgens.
This was a fun time. This is a really fun
It was
time.
fun.
Yeah,
I'm
really
so
cool.
happy it's collected.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I really want that book so bad. I will say that I like Reed's comment, Lex Education. I will probably rename the episode that based on that. Speaking of New 52, did we mention
Yeah.
this? Was it before the show or at the start of the show? Talking about not mentioning
Let me
Forever
start.
Evil again. I'm not mentioning Forever Evil, but I'm blatantly going to mention Forever Evil. So this is the kind of prologue to Forever Evil, but it does stand alone as a story. And also, it's technically anyway, screw it. Action Comics 23.3 from 2013. It's written by Charles Soule. Excellent writer. Doesn't get enough love. The art is by Raymond Bermudez. Now, this is a Lex Luthor who's been scarred by his last encounter with Superman and that kind of New 52 era Superman. But he basically decides, yep, I've been in prison long enough, I'm out. And in the space of one issue, he goes from being in prison, incarcerated, to going, yeah, I'm coming out now and I'm going to sort out all this stuff. And by the way, where's Superman and what's he doing? There's no sign of Superman. There hasn't been a sign of Superman for 7 days. So he set something up to draw him out. This thing will cost him millions of like $80 million just to draw him out. So you can see some of the sacrifices that Lex Luthor is willing to make just to see what Superman's doing.
That's what's
it.
interesting
That
about this character.
obsession that he has and what he's willing to do. And as powerful, I mean, like as powerful as he is, it's about the power to call the shots. It's the power to make people do things and know what they're going to do and prove that I'm going to do this thing and mess with someone's life. So by the end of the day, they'll be doing this. And you know they're going to do it. But how does that even play out then? What's he going to do with that control that he's got? He is a
Yeah.
bastard. And That's why I love him. One question I was going to ask you, actually, dude, was in terms of all comic book villains of any, whether it's superheroes, non-superhero, where does Lex rank in your, the best of all time villains for you?
I'm gonna say he's top three.
Mm.
He's got to be top three. You can interchange other as far as like the history of comics. I would go with. Can I give you my top three
Go for it.
in no order? Doctor Doom,
Mhm.
Joker, Lex Luthor. I feel like Doom is on that Lex Luthor level as far as ability to find themselves in the winning position
Mm.
because of their smarts, because they've thought ahead, because they're expert chess players, because they're scientists who aren't afraid to mess with magic. Like they'll do what it takes. So him and Doom, I feel, are each other's
Kind of
um,
universe
equals,
opposites. Yeah.
universe opposites.
Mm.
And then you got the Joker, which is, I mean, just as popular as villains get, the clown face, the frightening, everything, like that. But I like Thanos. He's up there for me.
Oh god, yeah. When it comes to like our complete favorites, yeah, I think Thanos probably for Marvel wins it for me.
I feel as far as villains go, Lex Luthor is the quintessential villain. Like in anything,
But that's the
he's
thing.
Lex Luthor.
What's funny for me though is I always had a real issue with villains who didn't have code names, like Emma Frost. She needs a code name.
Right.
Give it go there. But Lex
Yeah.
Luthor, I've always been quite happy with just the fact that he is a rich, evil knob.
Uh, is this my number five?
Go for your number five.
We were talking about the JLA Grant Morrison era and
Yes.
what followed. One of the things that followed was a really, really, really cool team up with Mark Waid and Brian Hitch. And for some reason, that JLA stuff just didn't do it for me. And I even think they've admitted that they didn't have the right rhythm between
Mm.
the two of them.
Mm.
Well, my last pick is Brian Hitch and Mark Waid, The Last Days of Lex Luthor. This is a Black Label book that's just been recently released in this format. It's a great year for
That's
Superman.
lovely, that book,
As I've
man.
said before, it's a great book. Brian Hitch and Mark Waid knock it out the park. Mark Waid recently said that it's his favorite, one of his favorite things he's worked on. I think his favorite Superman story he's worked on, which says a lot because he loves this character.
Mm.
And this book feels like someone who loves the character wrote it. And it's that relationship between Superman and Lex, much like the Super Lex story or the Men of Steel, where Clark is having to deal with the fact that he's going to save this person's life because Lex has a disease that nobody can figure out what it is he's got. He's got this virus. Even Luthor is saying, I've done everything within my power. You're the only person left for me to turn to say, not even begging him for help, just basically setting the record straight. And Superman, him and Lex travel the DC universe trying to find a cure. And it makes you think about all the places within the Superman mythos. Where would Superman go to
Lexor.
find a cure? Right. So for you to say that, the reason why I laughed is because it's Black Label,
Yeah.
it allows Mark Waid to use all of the DC universe where he feels it fits into the storyline, which I love that they can do stuff like that because you don't feel beholden to I have to read this and I have to know that. This is just a classic Superman Lex Luthor story. You've got a lot of people within the DC universe making appearances
Mm-hmm.
and having opinions about Superman's position right now. Why are you saving a dying man who's caused so much trouble in your life? How dare you come and ask us to help you do this now?
Mm. Speaks
So,
volumes of the
and of
character.
course,
Both
yes,
characters, really.
yes, exactly.
Mm.
So it's got a heartwarming end. It's got that history between Lex and Superman as young men
There's no need
growing
to
up
feel
in that
down.
little, yeah, uh, there's that relationship between them that Superman feels somewhat guilty for the rest of his life for that relationship being ruptured.
Mm.
So it's got all those touchstones of Superman that you love, that you know and love from all the different eras. Nothing's off the table, and yeah, it's a really really great character study of both Superman and Lex. I loved it.
Shall I bring it to a close with my five?
Yes, please.
Number five, it's a bit of a surprise one, not what I was expecting to go with, but I'm going to take us all the way back in time to 2024. So this is
Ooh.
the first meeting of the Joker and Lex Luthor, but retold from a modern perspective. This is Batman Superman World's Finest number 25. It's the first story of two in that issue. It's by Mark Waid again. I mean, Mark Waid seems to be the DC god right now, because there are tons of writers that are writing loads and loads of books, like Joshua Williamson
Deservedly so.
and other people as well. But Mark Waid is the guy. And World's Finest, I think, has kind of redefined what people expect of DC and what people want of DC. It's interesting that the last few years, Marvel have produced tons of Untold Tale books. And there seems to be this kind of confusion as to who they're for. Like, are they for older fans to try and bring them back in with something familiar? Or are they for newer fans to kind of alert them to old stuff? Like what? But they don't tend to do fantastically well. World's Finest is it's set in the prime of the modern continuity, but it feels like it's telling Silver Age, Bronze Age stories. How does it work? Do you know what? It doesn't matter. You're just telling great stories, and that is what people are looking for right now. So Mark Waid's doing some
That's all people
stellar
always want.
work. Yeah, it's some amazing work on this. I'm assuming there will be an omnibus or something at some point. This series is getting so much hype, and it is deserved. Most of the series is drawn by Dan Mora. This story is drawn by Steve Pugh, so the backup is by Dan Mora. So it's got a little bit of a different feel to it, but this kind of explains the first Lex Luthor Joker team up, and it involves Lex breaking the Joker out of prison because only someone as insane as the Joker could obtain the thing that he's trying to get hold of that will give him ultimate power without driving him mad. He will then have the means to defeat Superman. It introduces those two villains who team up constantly in various eras. But this is kind of like, in theory, the first time they've done it from a modern perspective. So this is where you can kind of go, do you know what? I don't necessarily want to read the Silver Golden Age stuff or the Bronze Age, but I've got a modern version of that first meeting.
Good old Lex. Well, Dave, as always, it's been a slice. I love these top tens.
Me too.
Everybody that's with us on Twitch, thank you for joining us. As the show progressed, we had more people join us. We appreciate everybody who chimed in. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit that rate and subscribe button. We appreciate that as well. And don't forget to visit us at omniversecomics.guide, where our other starter kits are available. Our other, you're making me laugh. Our reading orders, our episodes, collector item specials, creator interviews. Stay tuned for more of those as well.
Yeah. Plenty more to come.
Yeah. Plenty more to come. All right, Dave, as always, everybody,
Peace. If you do want to watch us on the chat, if you're watching us on YouTube or listening to us on whatever podcast platform you're on, and you want to join in with this stuff and actually chip in as we're recording, feel free to join us on Twitch. The information can be found on the website in pretty much every entry for each podcast episode. So don't miss it. Plus, we announce each one in Discord before it comes on, because sometimes we shift it up, we shift it around a bit.